Well. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever and whenever you are. Welcome back to Take the Points, a true underdog podcast. That's right. Don't adjust your dials, folks. You're hearing it for real. It's just your boy today, Steve. I'm here doing a solo podcast. To quote my boy, Jason Derulo, I'm riding solo. That's enough of the singing for today. Make up for Wilson's absence. But yeah, every once in a while, life just gets crazy for everybody, and it's tough to get the three of us on a podcast together. So here at Take the Points, we have Next Men Up mentality, and I stepped up and I said, "Fellas, don't you worry, Big Daddy Steve's got you. I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna write a solo podcast today, and what better opportunity for me than to talk about one of my favorite things, which is pro wrestling." That's right. We're going to deep dive into pro wrestling today, and hold your horses before you shut the podcast off, before you start looking for the newest Joe Rogan episode or whatever else you listen to. Let me just give me a minute. Okay. Just give me a second. That's all I'm going to ask for. Just a little bit of time. It's not going to take long. That's what she said. If you are a wrestling fan, or if you have ever been a wrestling fan, it's time to come back. Wrestling is cool again. Right, and we're going to get into a little bit here into as far as what's changed and why it's time for you to come back. But if you grew up in the Attitude Era, right, with Stone Cold, The Rock, all that kind of great stuff, WCW, NWO, WWF, Monday Night Wars, it's fun. Not quite that fun again, but pretty damn good. We've had one of the best storylines really ever over the last 4 years in the Bloodline, which I'll talk about a little bit. And that storyline is still continuing and still kind of the backbone of everything that WWE is doing. But the Triple H era, who has taken over for Vince McMahon, certified scumbag, is fantastic. So we're going to bring you back. And if you're part of these, if you're going to sit here and tell me it's fake, right? If you're one of these wrestling's fake people, right, and that's why you don't watch it, I got 3 words for you. No fucking shit. No fucking shit. It's fake. Are you kidding me? You think they're actually having buried alive matches where they're burying people 6 feet under in dirt? That's assault, brother. You do hard time for that. Okay, that's attempted murder. We know it's fake. We get it. Okay, you don't think I've had people over my house and not had enough seating, and I need to get the steel chairs out of the basement, and thought, yeah, there's no way you're taking one of these to the dome and being okay or kicking out. Right? It's fake. I understand it's fake. It doesn't mean that it's not cool. You know what else is fake? Breaking Bad. That show fucking rules. Okay? Inception. Great movie. Fake. All right? So if you're going to sit here and say that wrestling's fake, and that's why you don't want to listen to my podcast about wrestling, that you can pound fucking sand. Okay? But if you are open-minded, right? There's an ancient Italian maxim that says, he who is resistant to change is destined to perish, right? So keep that mind of yours open a little bit. And if you want to be open-minded today and talk a little bit about pro wrestling, we're here, right? We're not going to go too long. I think, I don't know, I might go off the rails. I probably already have. That's kind of, my MO, but we're going to get into a little bit. So buckle up. We're going to give you a little bit of the lay of the land of WWE, what's going on now. And we are getting ready for the road to WrestleMania. WrestleMania is, I think, a month from today. I think it's Saturday, April 6th, or Saturday, April 5th, which now that I say that out loud, I will be on vacation, excuse me, for WrestleMania. So that's not, that's some pretty poor planning by me. We'll figure it out, though. I'm sure Disney World will have it in some capacity. But so right now, the lay of the land for WWE, right? This is what we're calling the Triple H era. Okay, so if you guys have been fans of wrestling in the Attitude Era, Triple H is in charge, right? He took over from Vince McMahon, as noted earlier, certified scumbag. If you haven't watched, I'd highly recommend. There's a documentary on Vince McMahon on Netflix, and you can see the scumbagness. The character Vince McMahon that we all watched growing up, that would screw over Steve Austin, Stone Cold Steve Austin, cheat on his wife, offer his daughter into basically human traffic his own daughter in storyline. Those weren't too far from the truth. Those things. So he's just a certified scumbag. He has since left WWE completely. He sold all of his shares. The group that purchased WWE is now the TKO group. They own WWE and UFC. The Rock is a certified chairman or a board on the board of directors. He has a chair on the board of directors. So he has a position of power as well. So Triple H is kind of running the show in terms of the wrestling product, but The Rock is involved. And obviously, the Triple H and The Rock, going back to the Attitude Era, a lot of great matches together, a lot of rivalries, a ton of respect between the two guys. So they're working together, and it's really cool to see what they're building. So this is the Triple H era. There's more blood, which they didn't have before. Before this was the PG era, which was kind of lame, right? But there's more blood. There's more twists. There's already been a couple good twists in the last year or two. And the stories are just great. The stories are better. As I mentioned, the bloodline story surrounding Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns was one of those guys that Vince McMahon kind of tried to shove down your throat. And he never really got over with the fans, which in wrestling lingo is getting over is the fans support you in your role, right? If you're supposed to be a good guy, a baby face, the fans love you as a good guy and cheer for you, then you're over. If they boo you, and you're a good guy, that's not good, right? And as a heel, you want to be booed. You're over as a heel, right? They want you to boo the bad guys. So Roman Reigns could just never get over. He comes back from during COVID, he had beaten cancer, like one of the blood cancer, like leukemia, I think. He had beaten cancer and he was immunocompromised, so they were still doing shows in their performance center. And he couldn't go because of his condition. And then when he came back, he was a bad guy, and we were all like, "Yes, finally a heel turn for Roman Reigns." And it was one of the best heel runs ever. He went on about a 4-year tear where he beat everybody. He cheated to win, and he was champion for 1,400 and something days, about 4 years, right? So over 4 years, I think. I can't do the math in my head right now, but. So the Roman Reigns, the Bloodline storyline has kind of been the backbone of it for the last 4 or 5 years. But the way it works right now, right? So Cody Rhodes is your current WWE champion. He's the son of Dusty Rhodes, WWE Hall of Famer. His story was, he wanted to win the championship because his dad never did. And Dusty Rhodes has since passed, so he did it in his dad's honor. Really cool story there. But WWE has 2 champions. They have so many guys on their and men and women on their roster, wrestlers, that they have 2 shows, Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown. Each of these rosters are unique and have groups of wrestlers that don't cross over to the other show. So there's 2 champions. There's the WWE champion, which is Cody Rhodes. I'd argue that's Championship 1A, and the World Heavyweight Championship belongs to Gunther, and that is Championship 1B. So there's 2 champions, and what happens now, right? Where we're at in the year is we're leading to WrestleMania. We call it the road to WrestleMania. WrestleMania is the Super Bowl for professional wrestling. This year is at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. There's going to be damn near 100,000 people there going bananas. It's going to be insane. It's going to be awesome. Would be an awesome WrestleMania to go to, but yeah, not in the cards for me this year. Maybe one day I'll get to one, but it's a huge event. So starting in January is really when we get on this road to WrestleMania. And this is all relevant because we go Road to WrestleMania started, and we're on it right now. And we just had one of the biggest heel turns last weekend, which again, a heel turn is when someone goes from a baby face, a good guy, to a heel, a bad guy. One of the biggest heel turns since Hulk Hogan did it by joining the NWO back in the early 90s. And it's been incredible. It was just an incredible thing to watch. We still haven't heard much more about it. We just know that it has happened. So we'll jump into it a little bit later. But the road to WrestleMania starts in the Royal Rumble, right? The Royal Rumble is a 30-man elimination match where you start with two guys in the ring. Every couple minutes, there's like a countdown. It goes 10, 9, right? And then you hear someone's music hit, and now that guy is in the match. And this goes on and on until all 30 people are in the match, and you get eliminated by getting tossed over the top rope and both feet hitting the floor. So I'm sure you can imagine there's some theatrics and acrobatics at play here when guys land on one foot or land on a table or land on a ladder, and it doesn't, they never touch the floor and they get back in the ring. So there's some cool spots, what we call in the biz, the wrestling biz, call it spots, where something cool, a big bump, right, which is a slam, another lingo for you there. Big spots, right, are what we look for. So the Royal Rumble happened in January. One of the big storylines in 2025 is the retirement of John Cena. John Cena, some of you probably are very familiar with, even if you're not a wrestling fan. You know the name John Cena. He's gone mainstream. He is in movies. He's in TV shows. He's in commercials. He does commercials for the Glad trash bags or something. I don't know who picks these things for him, but he does them. John Cena has been the face of the WWE since about 2004, 2005, and he's just been he's been the guy that's been there night in, night out, fan favorite, complete baby face, right? And now he comes in 2025. He announced that in 2025 will be his last year as an active wrestler. Right, he's going to retire. And I think when John Cena says it, he means it. It's not like some of these other guys who have, 4 retirement matches. Looking at you, Undertaker. Love you if you're listening. If you're listening, that's insane. But Undertaker has retired a couple times. The Rock has even retired a couple times and came back. I think John Cena will actually be done after this. He means that. But John Cena's quest this year in 2025 is to win his 17th World Championship. John Cena is tied with Ric Flair at 16 World Championships, which is the most all time. And he's on the quest for 17, right? To be the GOAT, right? The greatest of all time. So to do that, right? The winner of the Royal Rumble gets to go up against a champion of his choosing. They have a women's Royal Rumble too, right? Don't want to undersell women because the women's division has been great. The winner of the Royal Rumble will pick the champion of choice that they want to face in the main event at WrestleMania. So John Cena enters the Royal Rumble. We're like, okay, here it comes, right? You're going to get that Cena, that final title run, that big moment where he wins his 17th title. And it's going to be, bedlam. It's going to be great. So he came out, and the final 2 contestants in the Royal Rumble were John Cena and Jey Uso. Jey Uso, formerly of the Bloodline, formerly of the tag team, the Usos, who are one of the greatest of all times. Jey Uso is very over as a babyface. But he's not quite main event material. So these 2 are the finalists. We're all waiting for John Cena to win it, and Jey Uso wins the Royal Rumble. He eliminates John Cena. So first real major curveball of the year from Triple H. Paul Levesque is his real name. First real curveball of the year is giving Jey Uso the Rumble win. So Jey Uso picks Gunther to go up against in WrestleMania, who's the World Heavyweight Championship, or who's the World Heavyweight Champion, Gunther. And John Cena has this, this passionate speech after the Royal Rumble and says, I'm not done. I still have a quest for the 17th champion, but I don't want it to come at the expense of, a younger guy who deserves his push, which that's pretty real, right? That's real talk there. I think he does mean that, because Vince McMahon was pretty notorious for doing that, right? Whenever like Goldberg would come back and you'd see someone kind of, you know, drop the title to him because he's a legend, and Goldberg kind of, you know, was well past his prime. So Cena doesn't want that to be the case. He decides to enter. He announced that he will be in the Elimination Chamber. Now, the Elimination Chamber is the next premium live event on the path to WrestleMania. It's the last one before WrestleMania. The Elimination Chamber is where they determine who will face the remaining champion in for the title at WrestleMania. So in this case, Jey Uso had picked Gunther. We're looking at Cody Rhodes. Who gets to face Cody Rhodes for the championship at WrestleMania? The Elimination Chamber, John Cena enters it. A couple other great superstars enter it. CM Punk, another Hall of Famer, looking for his real first Mania main event. Logan Paul was in it, who a lot of people hate Logan Paul, and he's really is a hateable prick, which is great. He's an awesome heel, but he's pretty talented in the ring. He's super athletic. So Logan Paul puts on a good show. He's been a pretty steady draw in WWE, so he was in that match, and the Elimination Chamber went on last Saturday to figure out who would win and get a chance to go against Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes' story, taking a little bit of a side route here, we're taking a little bit of a detour. Cody Rhodes' story is a couple years in the making too. So Cody Rhodes won the Royal Rumble in 2023, chose to go up against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 41. And Roman Reigns had been champion for 1,000 days or something like that already. So we all kind of expected Cody Rhodes to dethrone Roman Reigns, and he didn't. Right? He lost to Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns kept his championship. Obviously, there's some fuckery involved with, because Roman Reigns is the bad guy, and his cousin Solo Sikoa jumped in and cost Cody Rhodes the match, which is by design, right? That's how the heels win. And then Cody, the rest of his 2023 kind of took a different route. He went up against Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam in Detroit. I was there. Awesome show. 75,000 people going bananas. I think it was a real good showing for the city of Detroit in an attempt to get another big time premium live event like the Royal Rumble or WrestleMania in the future. That'd be great, but I digress. Cody Rhodes gets back he enters into the 2024 Royal Rumble and wins it. He's the first back-to-back Royal Rumble winner since Stone Cold, I think in 1998 or something like that. So Cody Rhodes gets his shot at redemption against Roman Reigns, right? Points to Roman Reigns after winning the Royal Rumble. They do this big zoom in on Roman Reigns where he's now looking nervous, right? Totally playing it up. A couple days later, The Rock returns, right? And I love The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. We love the people's champ, but he's chairman of the board. He has a lot of influence, and he came in. He had a conversation with Cody Rhodes and said, "Why don't you step aside, go after the world championship, which was held by Seth Rollins at the time." And The Rock said, "I want Roman Reigns," right? Because Roman Reigns and The Rock they're part of the same family tree. They're cousins, and the match has been teased for a while. Not even just in wrestling, but in The Rock had that show. I don't even know if it's still on, but Young Rock was a show that was out there. They teased, there was a flashback of The Rock from the 90s, and his little cousin Roman Reigns is playing with him, and The Rock tells him "Oh, we have to save that for WrestleMania," and that kind of gets the fans going. So The Rock comes back and he says, "Should I sit at the head of the table?" Which is what Roman Reigns always says, is he's the head of the table. So they're teasing this big match. He tells Cody Rhodes, go chase the other championship. Roman Reigns is mine. They have this kind of agreement, and the fans kind of go crazy. The fans really backlash against that. They want Cody Rhodes to go against Roman Reigns. Triple H, bless his heart, he listens to the fans, something that Vince McMahon never did. So they start to work out how are they going to get Cody Rhodes back into the fold here, right? Because they've already kind of cast him aside. They have this big press conference talking about Rock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, biggest match of all time, blah, blah, blah. Cody Rhodes comes out and says, this is bullshit. I'm the one who picks who I face at WrestleMania, not you. And The Rock bitch slaps him, like just completely bitch slaps him. And now The Rock is aligned with Roman Reigns as heels, right? So Rock did a heel turn, and he's developed into this final boss version of The Rock, where he's like, I'm chairman of the board. I own this. Like, I own the microphone you're speaking on. I own the camera that's filming us. I own this ring. You have to do what I say. And it's been a pretty entertaining. Heel Rock is fantastic. When Rock is a heel, telling fans he's going to slap the herpes off their lips, calling them all trailer park trash, all that kind of great stuff. He just doesn't miss a beat with, taking jabs at every fan in the audience. It's incredible work. The Rock and Roman Reigns are heels in this scenario, and they're trying to force Cody Rhodes, or they're trying to stick it to Cody Rhodes for canceling the Rock versus Roman Reigns match. So there's a whole bunch of other stuff goes on. Seth Rollins gets involved and takes Cody Rhodes' side, so they have a tag team match in night one of WrestleMania 42 last year, which was, in my opinion, the best WrestleMania ever. And the stipulation was, if Rock and Roman Reigns wins, then it's quote unquote it's tribal rules, or tribal combat or tribal rules. Tribal combat, I think they said, for the main event against Roman and Cody Rhodes last year. And that basically means anything goes, right? Like street fight, which, the bloodline, Roman Reigns is, cronies, all these guys are going to be there trying to make sure that Cody Rhodes doesn't win. So Rock and Roman Reigns beat Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. It's tribal combat for night 2 of WrestleMania, Roman versus Cody. And of course, right, Roman Reigns' crew is showing up trying to stop Cody. And then it just turns into this awesome thing where Jimmy Uso comes out and tries to help Roman Reigns. Jey Uso, his twin brother, comes out and fights his own brother to help Cody Rhodes. Solo Sikoa, Roman Reigns' cousin, comes out to stop Cody Rhodes. John Cena comes out and attacks Solo Sikoa. The Rock comes out and attacks John Cena. The Undertaker comes out and attacks The Rock. And then Cody Rhodes beats Roman Reigns and wins his first championship, something his dad never did. And all these guys from the back come out and start, lift him on their shoulders. It's a really cool moment after that, where Roman Reigns hugs Paul Heyman, who was kind of his manager at the time, and just really just show of man, we had an awesome run and now it's over. So WrestleMania 42, fantastic storyline. After that, The Rock kind of teases Cody Rhodes and says, I'm coming back for you. I don't know when, I don't know where, but I'm coming back for you. So fast forward to right before the Elimination Chamber. I went way completely on a detour there. If I lost you, I'm sorry. I don't even know if I had you to begin with, if we're going to be honest with you. But you know what? When in Rome, I guess. All right. With the Elimination Chamber, about a week or two before, The Rock returns again. And he says, Cody Rhodes, we've developed a bond, we've developed a friendship. You've carried this company on your back, all this great stuff. He gave him a big compliment at the Netflix premiere of Monday Night Raw, earlier this year. Totally. And when The Rock is heel, he does kind of break character a lot. He goes into Dwayne Dwayne Johnson mode where he's actually chairman of the board of this company and, hyping everybody up and playing good guy rock. And then he goes into final boss heel character. And he kind of like blends the two really good. The Rock tells Cody Rhodes before Elimination Chamber, he says, I'm coming to Elimination Chamber and you have to decide if you're going to give me your soul, right? He says, I want your soul, which really no one fucking knows what that means. But it essentially means, Cody, you're going to be my champion, kind of like my corporate champion back in the day when Vince McMahon had, the bad guy champion was aligned with him and kind of did all the bad guy work. So they're teasing a Cody Rhodes heel turn to align with The Rock. John Cena wins the Elimination Chamber, right? He beats CM Punk in the final two. So really quick, the way the Elimination Chamber works, it's like a big ass steel ass cage or dome that goes around the ring, and there's pods in four corners of the ring where four wrestlers are kind of like locked in, and every, I think, 10 minutes someone's released, and it starts with two guys in the ring, right? So two guys in the ring, 10 minutes later turns into a triple threat match. Then a fourth guy comes in, and you're eliminated when you are pinned or you submit. So what happens is once the last guy standing, the only guy who doesn't get eliminated, wins the Elimination Chamber. This is like an hour-long battle between six guys. It's a really cool match concept. CM Punk and John Cena are the final two. These guys had huge feuds in the mid 2000s, early 2010s. So really cool to see those guys go head to head again, and then John Cena wins with a little bit of help from Seth Rollins. John Cena wins. So John Cena wins Elimination Chamber. He's pointing to the WrestleMania sign. Everybody knows it's him versus Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes comes out. Says, there's no microphone work here, but you can there's an exchange and you can kind of tell what they're saying. They're saying, hey, John Cena's like, I'm coming for you at WrestleMania and we're going to throw down. And it's going to be awesome. Cody Rhodes is like, yeah, let's do it. Right. Babyface versus babyface. They're getting excited. The crowd's going pretty wild about it. And then The Rock comes out. The Rock comes out like he said he would. And he's asking Cody Rhodes to make his decision on will he give him his soul or not. And this is what goes down. I'm going to narrate this live for you guys. This is a really cool new feature that we have here at Take the Points, thanks to our friends at whatever the fucking app we're using, Riverside. So here's what goes on. This is after the Elimination Chamber. John Cena had won. Cody Rhodes comes out and pays his respect, and now we got The Rock here. Says, Cody, what's your decision? Will you give me my soul? And I will give you, you'll go down in history as one of the greatest of all time. If you don't, your career is over, basically. And here's what goes down.
And you know why?
Give him his soul. His soul doesn't belong to him.
Because I gave my soul to this ring and these people a long time ago. Hey, Rock, go fuck yourself.
And there we go. Cody lets him have it. This was live. This was unedited on Peacock. Absolutely great. Great stuff. John Cena's going crazy. The Rock is floored. Cody Rhodes is heated. And this goes on for a while where they're just kind of staring each other off. Travis Scott is here for some reason. I don't really know what the fuck's going on there, but got Travis Scott out there.
And then, it's not having access to 1 million industrial grade.
And then you get hit with an ad for Grainger because, this podcast is brought to you by Grainger, apparently. Ooh, and Disney Plus. Wow. So poorly planned by me to get ads ads in the middle of what I'm trying to share with you all, but we're back. So, John Cena daps Cody up,
for Wrestlemania.
stares at The Rock. The Rock gives him this cutthroat sign, which he does it really weird. He like drags his finger up his face. And John Cena kicks him right in the dick, dude. Done. Heel turn. Heel John Cena is in the fucking building. Everyone's going nuts. Kids are crying. The Rock's just staring at him. The Rock looks happy. Travis Scott's still here. I don't know what he's doing here. Cody Rhodes writhing in pain, and then they just go to town on this guy. They just so we'll save you we'll save you the rest of this video, but John Cena just absolutely pummels Cody Rhodes with his own Rolex. So this is a big deal. This is a big deal because John Cena has never been a heel. He has never been a heel, maybe a little bit towards like the early years of his career, but since he's been, a world champion winning wrestler in the face of the franchise, he has never been a heel. He's always been a good guy. His mantra has been hustle, loyalty, respect, right? You ask any kid that was between the ages of 6 and 15, anywhere from 2007 to 2018, who they looked up to, half the time they're probably saying John Cena. John Cena had like the most merchandise ever sold, kids merchandise. The kids come into stadiums dressed as John Cena. They would cry when he would lose a championship, and he would go, he'd take time in the crowds. He's always hugging, a kid with, a kid in a wheelchair, or a kid with a disability, taking time, after his matches and before his matches to engage with these kids in the crowd. Really a true baby face in every sense of the word. He's granted 650 Make-A-Wish wishes to kids, right, through the Make-A-Wish Foundation, which is the most of anybody ever, right? And I think it's by a pretty wide margin. So John Cena, the ultimate babyface, turns heel. And that is how we're going into WrestleMania, right? John Cena hasn't addressed the audience. He hasn't addressed the crowd. I think they're going to go something along the lines of, John Cena has said, I'm here to do what's best for business. And I think he's going to come out and say something. What's best for business is if I win my 17th championship, and it's also best for me. There are some subtle hints at him turning heel when you look back, but really no one really expected this. Very long overdue. We've been asking for a Cena heel run probably for the last 10 years of his career when he was full-time, just because it was getting stale, but Vince McMahon would never do it. And now they're doing it, and it's exciting. It has Triple H and The Rock and John Cena's fingerprints all over it. And it's just great. I mean, this is just a huge deal. Like I said earlier, it's probably the biggest heel turn since Hulk Hogan joined the NWO in the 90s. Which, look up that video, fantastic. You have people throwing their drinks at the crowd. Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash just completely covered in beer, Coke. Someone threw a roll. I don't know why you have a roll of toilet paper at a wrestling event, but it was like a roll of toilet paper thrown in there. It was just like bedlam. So kids crying, and that's it. That's what it was. That's what it was this weekend with John Cena turning heel. So it's going to be really interesting to see where this goes. You book Cody Rhodes as a huge baby face here, which is great. And he's over. He's super over with the fans. And what a way for John Cena to go out. His last run as a wrestler will go down as his only heel run. And I think he'll win. I think he'll beat Cody Rhodes for the championship. I think we'll have a short heel run, and probably towards the end of the year start to make his way back to babyface status, maybe turn on The Rock, right? A bunch of stuff, because The Rock and Cena have a pretty good history too. and then ultimately drop the title to somebody who wins their first title, right? I think that's John Cena fashion, where he's going to put somebody over to help them win their first title, and that's how he's going to go out. So really just that's what I like. I like to watch pro wrestling. I know, you might think I'm a dork, but fuck off. Like, I don't care. It's fun. It's entertaining. Had I been about 7 inches taller, I would probably be out there with them. I got the physique, just not the height. So, we can't have it all, and that's okay. But in a different world, I'm out there with them somewhere. So, yeah, enjoy it. If you're looking to do something the first weekend in April, and you're bored, you don't really have much going on, just turn on Peacock. It might actually be on Netflix too. Saturday and Sunday night, Wrestlemania. Tune in, see what happens. I bet Stone Cold comes back and confronts The Rock as part of this whole Rock and Cena collaboration thing, where they're going to turn on Cody Rhodes, or where they already have turned on Cody Rhodes, where they're going to try to screw him over to give Cena the championship. I feel like there's going to be some big names that show up to do that and to stop that from happening. But tune in, give it a try. It's fun. It's all about having fun. If you're not having fun, you ain't doing it right. That's all I got to say about that. So that's about all I have today. I got no bets. I just want to come on here, rip my first solo show, and talk to you guys about wrestling, because I've teased it. I've said I'm going to do it. This is unsanctioned. No one knows that I'm doing it. I mean, I guess they know that I'm doing it. I've told them that I'm doing it. Do they love that I'm doing it? I don't know. TBD, right? And hey, maybe this turns out to be, one of our better episodes. Maybe we get a lot of listeners from the wrestling faithful, right? And if you're a closet wrestling fan, just come out and admit it. It's fun. We're all having fun out here. You like what you like, and that's okay. So give it a shot. Tune in. Monday Night Raw is on Netflix. Friday Night SmackDown, I think is on USA Network, or maybe Fox. I think it's on USA Network now. But the shows are good, and you'll see the way you feel about seeing some of these older guys that you grew up watching returning. There's fans today that feel that way about the current roster of young guys. So a lot of good, talented folks there to tune in and watch. So give it a shot. And with that, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to go downstairs and watch Love is Blind, probably. Maybe have a glass of red wine. Who knows, right? Who knows? But thanks again for tuning in. Thanks for letting me ramble at you about pro wrestling. And we will see you next time on Take the Points, a true underdog podcast.